Call of Duty Warzone Season 4 is coming to a close, but we made you guys a promise. We'd check in every season, for better or for worse. Warzone has been a very rocky experience since the Vanguard integration, and Season 4 looked to shake up the formula in some big ways. We will be back to check out Warzone's final season in the near future, so make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a beat. With that said, will the penultimate season of Warzone strike gold or go for broke? There have been some major gameplay additions this season, and whilst a lot here is a great step in the right direction, I'm scared that it might just be too late. The obvious crown jewel here is Fortune's Keep, the brand new Resurgence map. And let me just say that it is fantastic. There is a lot of depth and nuance here, with plenty of smart ways to climb around the buildings and surprise your enemies. This is a seriously great map, and I've had a blast every single time I've played it. Bravo to everyone who put it together. Caldera has seen the addition of Storage Town, a fan favourite POI from Verdansk. This is a fun addition, but doesn't do much to alleviate the overall design of Caldera. Some smaller micro POIs have been added around the map, and vegetation has seen a reduction. This is a fantastic change that shifts the game away from hiding and speeds up the pace. Now on Caldera, you should be getting into more gunfights. Rebirth Island has seen no major additions, but did play host to Rebirth of the Dead at the start of the season. I didn't get to play this myself, but it looked like the same great fun that was the Haunting of Verdansk back in 2020 and 2021. The other limited time event was Titanium Trials. Very similar to Iron Trials, this game mode makes everything just that bit harder with a custom rule set. It's great for a formula shakeup, but squad size is restricted. Health has been upped in all modes, which means you can react to gunfights and fight back. Again, this is a push towards making players more inclined to run about and get into fights, and that is always welcome. Fortune's Keep and Rebirth Island alternate now so that they can always be played. One map has locked squad size, whilst the other is free. You can play what you like. This is a great way to make sure all of the maps are always available. The new UI is a game changer. Now you can see everything your teammates hold, and they can't lie to you about not having armor plates. I'm honestly pretty impressed with the overall changes here. Raven is putting in the work to improve the game in its Twilight Hour, and the work is paying off. We should also mention before moving on to the not so good stuff that our experience was mostly smooth. We had a few stutters here or there, and it did get us killed, but it was a very rare, albeit frustrating experience. We also came across no cheaters during our playtime this season. Ricochet continues to do its job. Raven also went ahead and unlocked all of the Vanguard guns from seasons 1 through 3 for everyone. This is especially nice considering how awful the majority of unlock challenges were. The new assault rifle, the Vargo, has a very simple unlock challenge, and this is how it should be done. Most of the bad this season comes in the new weapons and weapon balancing, yet again. There was a massive passover of weapon stats at the start of the season, but once again, we had a few insanely overpowered Vanguard guns slip through the cracks. These were prominently the new weapons. The trend is out in broad daylight here. The new weapons are also nothing to write home about. Yet again, we're getting another assault rifle, SMG and LMG. All of the post-launch Vanguard guns have felt very copy and paste, compared to the likes of Modern Warfare and Cold War that saw things like nail guns, semi-auto SMGs, LMGs that shot so fast they caught fire, and an underwater machine gun, just to name a few. The Vanguard guns just feel so bland in comparison, and I'm never excited to unlock and use them outside of the fact that they are the meta picks. We should also talk about some of the Titanium Trials challenges, because some are really stupid. Season 4 has introduced some new camos to Warzone that can be unlocked via timed events. This is fun and a great incentive to play, but some of these challenges are just silly. There are some challenges that require you to dress as the new Terminator operators. This is just not a practice I can get behind. But the really stupid ones are to win Titanium Trials 10, 15, and 20 times. For the first two of these, you unlock really basic calling cards. The reward just isn't worth it there. And for the 20 wins challenge, you unlock a pretty sleek Skynet camo. 20 wins is already a high number, but 20 wins in a timed event where squad size is locked is just ridiculous. There will be plenty of people out there who could not do this because they just do not have the coordinated team or time to complete this. We'll come back to the maths here in our commitment section. However, despite some awful challenges and boring weapon additions with the standard crop of terrible balancing, Warzone Season 4 has a lot of gameplay variety on offer, and these additions are really solid. We're actually bumping up the score to a low 4 out of 5, 1 point higher than last season. Art direction remains solid from Season 3. Fortune's Keep looks gorgeous and is easily the best looking map Warzone has received thus far. These looks don't always mesh well with the gameplay however, and it can be hard to judge where and what you can climb on. Sometimes the odd terrain makes for some very clunky traversal. Caldera and Rebirth Island simply have not changed since last season. The new music this season is very unremarkable, but it does do its job of providing a backdrop to the lobby and the opening of matches. There is some pop-in at extreme distances, at least on Series S, but for the most part the game is looking as clear as it should, making our targets feels easier, and this is very important with the new health changes. The lack of vegetation on Caldera especially helps this. Overall, there's just not a lot of change here, and as such, Warzone Season 4 keeps level with a 4 out of 5 for its art direction. Storytime with Captain Butcher has just gone off a cliff. Now it's the 1970s with helicopters, but also 2003, and Captain Butcher is fighting against all of the task forces he has assembled over the previous seasons. I can get behind Godzilla and the Terminator showing up. It's silly, but it's fun and it makes for some fun events. With Season 4, any semblance of suspending narrative disbelief for fun is just gone. Any sense of identity is equally gone. And honestly, if you're here for the narrative, then I don't know how to help you. We're knocking the narrative down to a 1 out of 5. It was silly in previous seasons, but at least it was servicing the gameplay. Now it's neither serviceable nor ridiculously fun. And those two things were keeping it propped at a 3 out of 5 last season. Season 4 of Warzone is a solid technical offering with plenty of content. At present, you have the choice of playing Caldera, Rebirth Island and Fortune's Keep. Modes rotate frequently and there is always something new to try out when you log on. All of this can be played with a total arsenal of almost 200 weapons now. We ran into some stuttering whilst playing, but everything else was bug free for the most part. I have heard of some serious issues on PC though. Raven managed to push out a season without breaking the game too much. Bravo. The major suite of settings is still present, and whilst we won't list them off here, know that you can tweak pretty much whatever you want to in Warzone. Just like Season 3, this section is wonderfully short and sweet, and mostly unchanged. It gets the full 5 out of 5. I would give this a 0 if our scale went that low, and honestly, I kinda wish it did. Activision have come out and admit that players will start fresh with the new iteration of Warzone that comes with Modern Warfare 2, and have proceeded to milk the game even harder before Judgment Day. Store bundles retain their insane prices, but now they seem constant. Every single time I log in, a new £20 bundle has been released. Some of these are pretty fun and ridiculous, but please do not buy them. For all we know, they will be next to useless by the end of the year. Battle Pass progression works, but it is still very slow and a time grind over all else. I'm a much bigger fan of Fortnite's XP based system. Hard drive footprint holds steady at just under 100 gigabytes. This is still insane, but for what it's worth, the update files aren't too large, which is a godsend for download times and data caps when you haven't logged in a week. Lastly, as promised, let's do the maths on that ridiculous 20 Titanium Trials win challenge. Each match here lasts around 20 minutes to the end. It is reasonably easy to fit Warzone in around other games and life if you're keeping it casual. We should mention that before we proceed. In quads, the squad size that the mode was initially locked to, your odds of statistically winning are 1 in 38. 38 teams drop in, 1 wins. So, the best case scenario is you winning all 20 of your matches in a row, which would take you about 400 minutes, which is just under 7 hours of playtime. That's not awful, but it is a lot for the bare minimum in a timed event. But that's before you factor in the odds of actually winning all 20 matches in a row, which comes out to about 0.13%. The maths here is 1 out of 38 times 20, or 1 in 760. At these odds, you just need to play around 760 matches of Titanium Trials to get the camo through pure odds of winning. That comes out to about 253 hours of total playtime, or 10 days. The total length of this event was 2 weeks. Increasing your odds requires you to play with competent friends, but I can't get behind locking things behind people who are lucky enough to have squads to play with and a lot of time to grind. And then you have the challenges that require you to spend up to £40 on skins to even work towards. This is beyond ridiculous for a reward that simply isn't worth it. The new weapon level grind is nothing new. It takes a while, you should buy Vanguard if you want to speed it up. We've been here, we've done it. But the challenges to unlock the weapons in the first place have actually seen some improvement. The nail in the coffin here is that Activision have admitted that the game is going the way of the dinosaurs in the near future. Why should you put your time into a game that is actively siphoning it and your money before sending that effort off to oblivion? The answer is that you shouldn't. 1 out of 5. Warzone Season 4 teeters on the edge of being worth your time. Fortune's Keep, Rebirth of the Dead, and the small Caldera updates are great for keeping the gameplay fresh, but the ingrained issues only dig deeper here. The Last Stand is almost here, and I hope that it is fun. A good send-off to what started out as an extremely good game. But my advice going forward is to keep this game at a casual arm's length until we see what Activision has up its sleeve on September 15th. Play for a bit of fun with all the new toys, but don't make Warzone your job, and definitely don't give it any more of your money. It's already rolling in enough gold for the rest of time.